Ooh, 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 ooh. Ahem. Ladies, gentlemen, gamers, and fellow Fortnite players. I don't even know if I want to say Fortnite lovers. I am a little late to this news. Now, late to knowing the news? No. But as one of the premier, most dedicated, most loyal Fortnite players in the world, many people might have assumed that I would have instantly made a video about this. And if you know what this is, great. If you don't know what this is, we're going to get into it. But I'm assuming the title, whatever it's going to be, is probably going to give a large part of the mood and the feeling of this away. But we have some very, very bad news today. And I think out of all of my years of covering Fortnite, right, this has only happened, I believe, one other time. Now, there's a lot to potentially go into. We're going to talk a lot. This is maybe going to be a long one. I don't know. No script, no nothing. Not that I usually have one. But we're here to talk about the newest Fortnite vbuck price increase, which realistically is not just a price increase, it is a fall of an era. It is the end of an era. It is sad, it is wrong, and it is disgusting. And we'll get into it. But to give a little context, I heard this news earlier today. And at first, when I saw this, and I'm kind of jumping the gun here because if you don't know what this is, you're kind of just in the blind right now. You're kind of just going in the dark. But when I heard this news, I was shocked, I was appalled, and I almost didn't believe it. Now, we're gonna do what they don't tell you to do to magicians. We're gonna reveal the secret here. We're gonna go down and we're gonna look at this shit because I'm so disgusted. This ruined the whole day for me, at least. But we're gonna go through this and we're gonna describe what's going on, the good, because surprisingly enough, there is good, the bad, and the ugly. So they have a little V-Buck picture here because we're concerning V-Bucks, although that's not the only thing we're concerned with, but Epic has come out and they've said the cost of running Fortnite has gone up a lot, which I believe is true. And we're raising prices to help pay the bills. I don't believe this is true one bit, and we'll explain why. So, starting on March 19th, which is following the new season coming out, not a chapter release, by the way, a new season. If they were going to do something this huge, this big, lo and behold, if they do it on a new chapter, that's going to ruin the whole chapter's vibe. But even for a season, in my opinion, this season will go down if this change goes through with infamy. Now, they're increasing V-Buck prices, right? Now, you're getting overall less V-Bucks for the same price. However, there is cash back technically with Epic Rewards. So, here's all the prices. This stuff is whatever. And a lot of people have been memeing on it, and I think there is some merit to that, right? I think, number one, let's go over what they're saying here, right? And then we'll get into the really big problem, because this is not the big problem, although some people are concerned with this, and rightly so. I believe in the past it was I don't remember fully, but I saw online when I was looking at comments about this because no one likes this, obviously, right? No one's happy about this, except probably Epic, but they're hopefully not going to be happy for long if we rise up against them. But back in, I believe, season, I want to say 2, or not season 2, chapter 2, season 4, I believe they raised V-Buck prices once before, if not more, but I know they did it once for sure. And I believe Epic came out and said, yeah, we're doing this one time, we're not going to touch it again, this is it. I am one of the most critical people of Fortnite. I am the Fortnite lover, right? Which is sad I'm a little late to this, but I really needed to gather my thoughts, see the community sentiment, make sure it was real, and then also get through my day, because sadly I'm employed. But once I saw this, I was like, oh boy, Fortnite really did succumb to corporate greed. And that's what this is. And again, we're going to show really why, but we're focusing on just one aspect right now. So, they said they weren't going to increase V-Buck prices, and lo and behold, they did. Now, on its own, I wouldn't be too mad about this. What I think this is truly targeting is honestly mobile players, because for those of you who really don't know anything, Fortnite was taken off the App Store a while back because Fortnite was basically bypassing some rule Apple had where Apple was basically having a monopoly and they were taking a lot of a cut from all the transactions that happened with any game that was on the App Store. And to get on iPhones, you need to be on the App Store. Now, let's pretend, we're not going to go too much into that topic because that topic is over and done with. They brought it to court, Epic won, and they got restored back onto the App Store. And to just really screw it to Apple too, now when you use their Epic systems, aka really on the computer, when you don't go through Apple, because if you go through Apple, Epic technically loses some money, right? But that's the cost of doing business. They're not going to make as much money. Saying they're losing money is wrong because we're going to talk about money soon. But this is where Epic would normally make, let's just say $10 off you for a normal vbuck pack. On Apple, they'd make maybe like $8 or $7 or maybe even $6 because Apple takes a good chunk, right? And they argued that and they kind of won it because you could go through Epic's payment system instead of Apple's. They actually gave you a choice, which sounds good, right? But like most things in this world, the good will never last because now we have inflation on a virtual currency. Now, this is where, with Epic Rewards, it's honestly not too bad. Now, I don't want to focus too much on the vbuck prices. Is this bad? Is this stupid? Is this necessary? No. Is any of what's going to be in here necessary? No. But again, we'll talk about the potential good things here. But I just want to go to the really, really bad part here. And what they do is kind of scummy. They kind of try and hide it. Obviously, you can't really hide something this big that we're going to get into, but they don't put it up front here, and they include it in vbuck price increase. That's not what this is. That's not the big problem of what's happening. It's one of the problems. Here's the big problem, and it's so tiny you would think, wow, what is this? This is a problem. And it's not a huge problem, and we're going to get into it. Maybe it's an overreaction, but I doubt that. Battle Pass update, because I'm gonna give context. I think the important thing to give here is context, right? The Battle Pass is getting discounted. So they raised the price from $950, I believe, to $1,000 because, I have the extra 50. And almost immediately, they went back down to $800 now, right? So they raised it up, and I'm pretty sure very quickly they were like, wait a minute, why don't we do this instead? So they cut it down to $800. Sounds great, right? Wrong. Now, it's only awarding 800 V-Bucks for completing it, which normally it would reward you the same amount for completing it, right? You'd get out what you put in. But that's not fully true because you'd get out even more. I remember the biggest thing with Fortnite, the thing I would glaze, and the thing I thought was insane, and the longer time went on, the more I thought I just wasn't crazy. I thought everyone else was greedy. Fortnite let you earn currency actively without compromising on the Battle Pass. And I'll tell you what that means, right? When you look at their competitors, because this is some of the context I'm going to put in here, and also the other stuff doesn't really matter, right? The OG pass is going to go down. All the passes are basically going down, but that doesn't matter because these things don't give any V-Bucks. The crew update, they're going to give you even less now for the same amount of money. Whoop-de-doo, right? And then there's a little, FAQ section here, right? Will you earn enough V-Bucks to get another one? As if that's what the problem is, right? That's a big issue. If they ever went below this, it's over. Like, it's over. Fortnite is done. It's too corporate. It's done, right? But a lot of people, and they're being, again, very disingenuous and very manipulative with how they answer some questions here and just how they even order things on this page. And again, I might be overreacting, but I don't think I am. So their first thing is, will you be able to keep getting the Battle Pass infinitely? Technically, yes. Not even on technically. Literally, yes. But you can get nothing else anymore. And that is the biggest shift because when this thing has been in here, since the game's inception, since I believe Battle Royale was introduced after Save the World, because believe it or not, Battle Royale was not the start of Fortnite. It was Save the World, which almost failed and kind of is still considered the failure. But anyway, this is where, for the longest time, they have, again, been the bulwark. They've been the trailblazer. They've been the leader, the forerunner in fairness, in giving back to the community, in being generous. And we can argue why, because there's definitely other reasons why Fortnite's on top, and it's not all good. But I do truly believe one of the reasons, aside from the high quality feeling of the game, which over time has gone down, The game has gotten more buggy, and I always say that it's gotten more buggy, it's gotten more glitchy. It has a lot of bloat because it's becoming very corporate, and just it's getting too big. But this is where over time I do feel like Fortnite has been on the decline. But one of the things that never declined, and I felt like this with Riot Games as well, the creators of League of Legends, there's certain things that they knew they cannot compromise on, they cannot degrade, they cannot lower in quality. I thought that would be the battle pass for Fortnite. And similarly in League, from Riot Games, I thought it would be the skin quality because these are the lifeblood of the game. Now, maybe not so much anymore, right? I think now, and it's so backwards to me, it's so asinine. The other FAQs don't really matter. We don't care about these, right? This is where the biggest thing I don't understand is the reasoning of what they're saying. The cost of running Fortnite has gone up. Again, this is true. Is this untrue? No. Fortnite has improved over the years. I'm sure they've made improvements to the Unreal Engine. Fortnite is their main revenue driver. And they've equally, I think, invested in it a decent amount. Will I know the exact amount? Obviously not. But I cannot sit here, and I don't think anyone can sit here and say Fortnite has not gone up in quality. It's impossible to say that. They're getting more collabs than ever, and these things require money, right? The game has a lot of improvements, the system improvements, the network improvements, the gameplay improvements, the feel of the game, the engine updates, everything. The whole community, the servers it takes. Look at the community games on there. Look at Steal a Brain Rot. That shit gets more players sometimes than the actual original Fortnite game modes. These things have a cost, yes. But the second part is where we start losing the plot and where I think Fortnite has become really truly evil now, if they weren't already. We're raising the prices to help pay the bills. Fortnite makes so much money unless they're investing in other projects, and I'm going to try and give them the benefit of the doubt where I can, because at the end of the day, is this one of the really big bad things that's going to go down in Fortnite's history? Yes. Is it the worst thing in the world? No. Are we to the point of no return, potentially? Are we Overwatch? Are we Overwatch 2, really? Are we Destiny 2? No. What we are is no longer up above everyone else. I used to jack, I used to glaze, I used to deep throat the Fortnite Battle Pass. I used to say to Apex Legends, to all these other fucking games that had a Battle Pass, your Battle Pass sucks, ours is better. And let's not front, right? We already have bullshit in the pass. Every pass has nonsense in it that's just filler stuff. Sure. Fortnite was the only pass, well, all the passes you could probably eventually earn for free with the way the currency works, right? On most normal battle passes, you get some for free. You just probably need to grind for a year suffering, and then you could buy the pass and then you're in. Apex Legends, I believe they give you just enough to get the next pass, and that's it. Many other battle passes don't even give you enough to get the next pass. Lo and behold, Overwatch. I was going to say 2, but that's not the case anymore. But a lot of passes either give you just enough to get the next one if you want, or less where you still have to buy some to get the next one. Rivals is like this too. Overwatch and Rivals both don't give you enough to keep getting the pass infinitely. Whether that's fair or not, it's to be debated. That's an entirely different subject, and this video is already going to go on for probably over 15 or 20 minutes. So we're not going to talk about that. But the biggest thing is just the lying they are doing. Fortnite, like I said, has always been up above with the Battle Pass. Even though there shouldn't, it gives you a lot. Fortnite's Battle Pass is not small. And I would say a good, decent amount of the stuff in there is decent quality, bordering on high sometimes. It just depends if you like the theme or not. And that's fine. But there was no reason why anyone should not buy the Battle Pass because you literally farm currency off of it. And I was astounded by this. And again, because it went on for so long, I did not believe it was real until eventually I did. Now, after so long, they're finally changed it. And again, I'm going to add more context into here, right? First, though, before we add the context, let's look up this bullshit. Fortnite revenue. So, Fortnite, developed by Epic Games, right? Ignore my spelling. It peaked at over $5 billion in 2020, and it's still a top performer. Now, obviously, things are going down for at least, a following year, right? Estimated. $5.8 billion in 2022. Who knows how much it's making now, but I'm sure it's definitely into the billions if we're trusting AI here, right? So this is where we're not going to have exact numbers, and we don't need exact numbers. I'm willing to bet that it's generating over billions. And remember, this is after, I'm pretty sure, all their expenses and stuff. So again, is Fortnite going up in cost? Is what they're saying true? Yes. Do they need help to raise to raise the price to help the bills? No, not at all. This is where it's literally corporate greed. And I'm going to sound like a broken record because I'm just so astounded. I'm trying to say it over and over again to make it make sense to me, but this is where, again, is this the worst thing in the world? No, because now we're normal, and we're going to go into the good parts here, right? You are getting less V-Bucks, but with the cashback program, which sadly, is restrictive, are you saving money? Yes, if you buy something else or if you just save it over time, but it's only with the Epic system. You have to be on Epic's thing. So is it the worst thing in the world? No. Is it okay? Yeah, with the discount, I think this is reasonable. I think this is fine. There's some light at the end of the tunnel, depending on which tunnel you go down. There's no issue there, right? And 20% is nothing like small. That's a pretty good amount. It's a 20% discount, quote unquote. But this is where, and again, if it gave you less, I would say, okay, they're completely greedy. This is where the shop has literally been criticized because the shop is too full. There's too many things in the Fortnite shop where you have to scroll down for ages to see everything. And the collabs are not slowing down. The collabs are just heating up, right? And now they have this subscription-based service with the Fortnite crew every month that you get. Some exclusive stuff, some V-Bucks, and the Battle Pass. Is it a good deal? Yes, because you get every pass. It is an extremely good deal because now you're going to have to spend money anyway if you want any of these other passes regardless. Even with the old system, you would have never made enough to get all of them. The Fortnite crew is still an extremely good deal despite the V-Buck nerf, but this is where, again, it's corporate greed. It's saying, okay, we give them all these skins, we make all this money, but let's nickel and dime them more. Now, maybe that's because Fortnite's revenue is going down. Maybe they want to invest in other projects. Maybe Fortnite isn't having the grip that it is supposed to have with their main competitor, Roblox, because Roblox is ahead of them. And this is one of the biggest slaps to the face, I think, right? Is this going to suck that we're earning less V-Bucks and we're not technically making a profit anymore? Yes. Is it even worse because the shop has so much more stuff going into it and they're making collab after collab after collab? Yes. This is where it makes no sense in that sense because you're offering the most out of you've ever offered in time now, and now you're giving us the least. Where it's almost like drugs. And again, they know a lot of psychology. They're not stupid. These companies aren't dumb. They know the way the mind works because they research this shit. You have to give someone a little taste to keep them coming back. You can't give them absolutely nothing. And obviously, it's in your best interest as a business to not give them too much. So you try to find the sweet spot. And I'm curious if that's what they're trying to do, if they're trying to see, like, number one, how this plays out, how people are going to react. I mean, what do they think, right? But number two, are they going to stick to their guns? And number three, will people eventually just eat it, not care, and will it have not any effect? Goodness, golly gracious, I really hope not. I really hope it doesn't. I hope, like, we revolt and we do something about this because, again, it doesn't have to be the worst thing in the world to be wrong. And as I've said, Fortnite, in a lot of ways, has gone better, right? Updates to the servers, more servers, community games now out the fucking ass because they're trying to copy Roblox. I think the network stuff has gone better, the connectivity's gone better, the controls have gone better, a lot of accessibility. I think even the collab skins overall have gone better, generally. But that does not mean you could do something like this. This is completely, again, corporate fucking greed. And the biggest slap in the face, aside from them adding more and more into the shop that now people can get less and less, you have to be able to give them a little bit so they can want the rest. Now, granted, I think that's evil, but that's the way I think it's been done, and that's the way I think it's most successive, at least for, both sides, kind of, right? But the biggest slap in the face has to do with the community games and the things they changed. And again, over time, they're getting more and more greedy. The same way the game is getting more and more buggy and worse and glitchy, the game has just been getting more greedy. What have they done recently? They added in pets. You could infinitely buy infinite fucking pets and you could just keep customizing them even the same way, I think. So it's not just you buy the pet and you could just change its customization like you can with the skins and the styles, right? And lo and behold, in the future, what if they take away styles from skins and they sell them as separate skins, which they kind of do sometimes, right? But now that Fortnite is on the slippery path, who knows? But they added pets and they added companions, and obviously it was another opportunity to do collabs with. You could fit things in there that you can't fit as normal characters, sure. But the pets are inherently greedy because you can keep buying them over and over again. But it was purely cosmetic. I think they're overpriced as shit. And the fact that you could buy multiple of them is really stupid and asinine rather than just letting us edit the appearance once. Whatever, right? But it's these tiny cuts that add up 1,000 times that are really going to kill us. So after the pets, we'll go to the community games. Or actually, before we even do that, the battle pass. Way back when, and I don't think we're up to this just yet, but I'm sure it's coming. Way back when, Fortnite announced, okay, all the exclusive stuff in the battle pass that's there, that's very FOMO-ish, right? It's not going to be, moving forward, exclusive to the battle pass. We will eventually put it in the shop. Now, I haven't seen it yet. I don't know if it's still happening. It's kind of been radio silence for a pure reason, right? But they see it as another opportunity, and especially, I believe, with the collab skins. Now, I've talked about this in the past. I'm not going to go too into this topic specifically, but I'm assuming they're doing it because they are putting collab skins in the pass, or they're just greedy as fuck. Now, I honestly question which one it is. But because collab skins are in there, once that pass is gone, you can never get the collab skin again. And maybe the collabs didn't like that. They didn't like that they won't earn some currency depending if their skin is in the pass. So, moving forward from that date, whenever that was, you can now get stuff from the battle pass in the shop eventually. Granted, you're going to have to pay a lot more for it, but already we lost the exclusivity, which a lot of people liked and a lot of people hated. And again, I'm not going to go into that topic, but it's something they changed that I think could have been for the better, and I thought was honestly decently a little fair, although me being a petty bitch, I like the exclusivity of, hey, I was there and I got it. Sucks to suck if you didn't get it, and a lot of times it's out of people's circumstance, but it is what it is, right? But regardless, that was like a half-half change. I can argue for both sides. The animal one, the companion one, is a little just like, I don't even know what the argument is, aside from just, again, exclusivity. Hey, I had enough money to customize this pet 5 different ways, even though I can only use one at a time. Okay, whatever. That one's a little more greedy, but okay. The worst thing ever was that, again, in very similar fashion, where I really think Roblox is probably getting in their head. In Roblox, the community creators can put in their games for you to buy stuff. It is so microtransactioned out the ass, it was disgusting. And I was going to make a video about this, but honestly, I got lazy. Where I did play Roblox kind of recently, and I saw how bad the microtransactions were, and it's disgusting. And of course, Fortnite, instead of just copying all the good things, they decided to copy the bad and greedy things. And they said, all right, creators, you guys are making all this stuff, steal a brain rot, more popular than regular Fortnite content sometimes. We are allowing you to now profit off of the stuff. You can offer things for in-game currency, the vbuck, at the consumer. And of course, Fortnite, aka Epic Games, doesn't need to really do anything besides, look at the reports if it's like unfair or dripping you, which the fact that that's even allowed, there's no pre-screening is kind of disgusting. But, and what happens when you're dealing with kids? Why does Roblox make so much money? Now we know why. And Fortnite's trying to copy them. But aside from being, I think, a little morally evil, that they just let them in and then you could report them and they'll look at it afterward when it comes to dealing with real money, or at least with V-Bucks, because there's the intermediary there. The fact that they could do this is no issue to them. They are geniuses because they're making the creators do all the work. Hey guys, you create the games, we'll provide you with the player base and the advertising slightly. But if you want to charge them something, you can make some money, but we're taking a cut of it too. So it is symbiotic, and I'm sure this is a great thing for creators. And I never really made its own video about this, but this is a great thing for creators. But there's so much abuse here and there's so much greed, and Fortnite is just profiting off of all of it. Another example of how they got greedy. So what do we have? The battle passes not being exclusive anymore, potentially. Because again, I don't know if that's even happening still, but the battle passes are no longer exclusive. The companions, instead of being able to edit them like you would characters, you have to buy them and set them one time in that style. So you have to buy multiple if you want different styles. Again, more greedy. And now, with the community stuff, which was somewhat recent, they add, again, the ability to buy stuff with V-Bucks, and you can spend now infinite V-Bucks on shit. Eventually, you can make the argument with the Fortnite shop, even with the levels in the battle pass, there's a limit, right? After a certain point, you can't buy anymore. You've reached the limit. In these games, in these community driven games like Steal a Brain Rot, you can infinitely spend money. There's no end to it. And of course, Fortnite is profiting off of it. And after adding this, which I'm assuming obviously is morally questionable at best and probably taking advantage of kids' inability to control themselves and punishing the parents for giving their kids access to it, after all of this, ignoring the moral aspect, Fortnite is hella making more money. Again, will things wax and wane? Yes. Even all live service games will eventually probably come to an end, I'm sure. But I have no doubt in my mind Fortnite's still making oodles and buttloads of money. And the fact that they're saying, yeah, we need to help pay the bills, we need to raise prices, we need inflation on digital currency, which again, I'm not even completely against it, right? It's just you take away the little one thing we had, the one thing that I praised you for, the one thing that was amazing, and you make it normal. Not bad, but normal. And again, there is good things here, right? The cashback is good. The passes going down in price are good. It's just sad that you can't make a profit anymore. And again, I might be making a big thing over a small thing, but it's this slippery slope thing where look at all these other things they did with the pets, with now being able to buy stuff in game and community experiences that the creators of those experiences make and Fortnite just profits off of. They are making probably a lot of money. I doubt they're losing money because then we really are going to have issues. But it's literally just, I think, Fortnite has become evil. This is confirmed to me. We are living in the dark dimension. If your heroes live long enough, they become the villains. Look at Blizzard. Look at Bungie. Look at God knows who else. Look at Epic. But they're not villains yet. They're normal. They used to be superheroes. Now they're normal people. But they're kind of going on the downward trend to becoming villains now. Greedy fuck villains. As if they weren't already greedy. And again, it sucks because all these collabs are coming out. They're decentish collabs. They're good. And there's more of them than ever. And now this is when they start tightening the belt on us. It makes no sense. And the reason they're saying is a straight dead lie. Yes, Fortnite is expensive, I'm sure, but they make so much money. It does not, like, the expensiveness does not equate at fucking all. They are making so much more money with this whole community, creator experience, putting microtransaction in their bullshit. It is a lie, and don't listen to them. Now, obviously, aside from just trying to spread the word, repeating myself because I'm psychotic, and venting my frustration, I'm really making this video in hopes that, Epic listens. Hopefully people complain enough, but they're not stupid. So they must have known this would not. The fact that they even posted it, now granted, with this logic in the past, they wouldn't have changed anything once they posted, but we have gotten something changed in the past before, and it was a pretty big deal, and I forgot exactly what it was, but it was huge, and we actually got it changed. Oh, and also another way the game has gotten more fucking greedy. They don't let you get free XP and stuff from group stuff from playing in squads. But that's a non-issue now because they literally give you levels for free. It is not hard to max out the battle pass even at 200. It used to be. It's really not. And I've maxed out so quickly because creator experiences give a lot of XP. But regardless, right? I'm moving off topic. That's one of the few good things they have done comparatively to the bad. And again, I don't want to stay here and say Fortnite's over, Fortnite's done, Fortnite's evil. They are definitely more evil than they were. Are we below the line that it's just it's unforgivable, it's unfair, it's ridiculous? No. But would I ever have thought I would need to make this video addressing this, where their battle pass is becoming normal? No. And they make so much money despite giving out free stuff. And you would sort of argue, why are they doing this, right? They're doing this, I think, A, to largely test what they can get away with, which is only what greedy companies do. But B, I really think it's because it's just greed, right? Which goes into, what A was. They just want to see what they could get away with. There's no reason for them to do this when they're making so much money. And that's the thing I want to drive home. This is just complete fucking idiocy, corporate greed, nonsense, bullshit, dark dimension shit. But yeah, I'm making this where in hopes other people are making videos and complaining enough to where we'll change Fortnite's mind, we'll make them angry. Am I going to boycott Fortnite? Am I going to do anything crazy or spectacular? Sadly, no, because I have mental issues and I just can't get off games that I've been playing for a while. But despite that, I've loved Fortnite. And do I still love Fortnite? Yes. Will I always love Fortnite for what it used to be? if in the future it changes even worse, I will have a love for it for what it was. Do I still love it now? For the most part, kind of yes, but again, we're just going down this really dark path where it's like, this is not going to be the end. They're going to find more ways to monetize us, and I don't think it's because they need the money. Their revenue is still going crazy. It's just greed. So, it is what it is. I really hope people understand the message. I hope people understand the context. It's just a slap in the face lie. Like, obviously, they're not going to tell us, hey, yeah, we're greedy, we want more money. But they're masking it so terribly, so poorly. And, granted, what's the nice way to do this? There's no nice way to do this. They shouldn't be doing this at all. But I'm shocked. I'm appalled. I thought this was a fucking April Fool's joke. I was upset. I was sad. I cried a little bit. For other reasons, too. But I'm just like, what dimension are we living in where even the Fortnite Battle Pass is getting pegged down to standard? It's horrible. So yeah, hopefully everyone understood. If not, look up stuff, ask me in the comments, whatever. I'm just so defeated from this. It is so upsetting and depressing, but hopefully we make enough waves where they pull back on it, they don't do it. I don't think that's going to happen from just public sentiment. I think no matter how much people complain, they knew that was going to happen. They're going to wait for the numbers to come out. So at best, right, the absolute best unrealistic thing to happen is they roll back this change, they don't do it. Because again, they recently upped the price from 950 to 1,000. Why did they do that if they were just putting it back down? And I think the reason they did that is because they were testing it. They were going to see, okay, is this going to shake the boat a little? Okay, it did. No one really cared. Okay, now let's do the next step. Now let's lower the price, but also give less too. Because technically, I believe with them raising the price by 50, you're still making the same amount of V-Bucks back. So technically the price is more and you're not getting anything out of it extra. Like it's literally just a full downside, but it's one people didn't care because people like even numbers. 950 to 1,000, okay, big whoop, right? This is technically half and half. It's better, but it's a lot worse too because you're not making anything back. And the price of V-Bucks went up. So there's almost no defending this. And again, it just feels like they're trying and shooting like near target to see what they could really get away with. Because why raise the price when right after that they were like, okay, now let's decrease it. It seems like they're just testing things and it's horrible and it's nonsense. And again, unless people stand up and do something about it, they're going to keep doing it and they're going to keep getting away with it because people love to eat shit. Look at people who buy Nintendo stuff. Anyway, again, aside from that, aside from ranting, spreading the word, and hopefully helping with whatever wave is forming, if it's big enough to topple this decision, great. If not, I guess I vented. But it's just so fucking asinine, man. I really hope they don't do this. Again, best scenario, unrealistically, they pull back on this, but I doubt they will. Best scenario, realistically, they have this around for a little bit. People don't go on the game. Their player count dips by however much it needs to. And then they make a little less money and they're like, okay, revert it. Perfect. Realistically, I don't know if we'll really come back from this. I don't know if things will ever get better. In some ways, I think they'll stay the same. They'll side grade. And stuff with the game, things I'm sure will still get better too. The seasons are still fun. Fortnite's still a great game. But I still think things are going to get worse with other aspects too. It's just crazy it's with the fucking Battle Pass. This should be titled Fortnite Battle Pass Violation, not Fortnite V-Buck fucking inflation. It is ridiculous. But anyway, this has gone on for over half an hour. I've repeated myself a bunch of times. Again, hopefully people understand. Hopefully people do something, me included. And hopefully things change. But either way, I hope everyone enjoyed. I hope everyone has a better day than I had after this horrible news. And if you want to see more of me, watch me at Twitch TV/Tecnics channel, where we could cry together. Anyway, that's it.